I'm Michelle Kramer, and I work at Warner Bros. Media Research and Insights Group in Burbank, California. I work on a team, and we look at digital trends, a lot of digital trends. We manage all of the data coming in throughout the studio, throughout theatrical and television, and we help advise what we think is going to happen next in trends as far as consumer behavior and how the changing platforms for entertainment are changing the way people watch our shows and what that means for the studio. So a lot of people think that this dual screen viewing is going on a lot around the shows themselves, but it's not. A lot of it is I'm doing my email while I'm watching my show, or I'm chatting with friends while I'm watching my show. We do see a difference between different types of content. So people, if it's a serialized drama like an NCIS or something, or Blacklist, you're really involved. It's very difficult for you to be doing your email at the same time, and maybe you're doing it at a part that you've seen before while they're promoting something else. It's a very interesting dichotomy. Live, maybe you hear all the time, oh, I get up, I go get something to eat. But if it's recorded, people tend to have that time blocked for their favorite show. And so if they're on a second screen, even if they're doing something else, they're actually paying attention to the audio track of the commercial. And they tend not to then want to go and pick up the remote and then go fast forward. They're like, oh, I'll just let it run while I do this. So it's a very interesting change of behavior, whether it's recorded or live, that we've seen. There may be multiple screens, but people can only focus on one soundtrack at a time. So whether they're looking at a screen while they're watching the show, or we've seen even in our studies, our tracking studies, that people will look up at the screen even while they're doing their email or doing something else non-related to the show. And that's holding their attention. Then they go back, and the reason why they look up is because something in the soundtrack caught their attention. It could be a piece of humor. It could be a song that they like that they're running in the background of the commercial. And so the soundtrack, there's only one soundtrack, and that's what's really holding people's attention. A lot of people believe that we can change people's behavior or use that behavior to do something on our behalf. Really, I think what we need to do differently is understand how they're doing it before we can say, this is how we're going to push our content and get higher engagement with our content, or make sure people are watching more ads or what have you. And the reason why I say that is because and in fact my group, the Media Research and Insights Group today, we're working on a project where we're thinking about millennials and when did this all start? When did this multitasking start? And what we came up with is it really went back to when televisions got inexpensive, way back in the 60s and 70s, when you no longer as a family had to sit and watch the same show. Now you could separate it up, and someone could watch a TV in their room, and someone, even though it was basic cable, even though it was basic, and then basic cable came along. So all this choice has really fragmented how people view our content. And so whether or not they're on a second screen, I don't think is really the issue. We can push messaging to them. They're going to find our content whether they're on a second screen while they're watching or not. We just need to make sure that it's easy for them to discover our content, whether they're simultaneously multitasking or not. So that's kind of my takeaway for today.